I had someone on a previous video comment and ask me if I would talk about being or making friends, being in a friendship as an ISFP. So, this is going to be sort of a stream of consciousness. I haven't really thought this completely through as far as like everything that I'm going to say. So, let me say, first of all, that as a younger person, in my teens, I had a few friends in high school that were really close to me, or junior high, high school. And the one thing that I would have to say is a consistent reality among my friendships, both at a younger age and even up to this day, is there really have to be things we have in common. Now, I would assume that that's probably true of all people when it comes to making friends, but I don't actually know that to be true for a fact. So, for example, through my really almost my whole life, a good number of my friends have been hockey fans. We had that in common. It gave us something to talk about. It gave us an activity to go and do together, whether it be play hockey, which I did extensively when I was younger, or whether it be to sit and watch a hockey game in the living room together or go to a hockey game together. It could be music, having the same music in common. It could be other interests, but there has to be something there that we can talk about together and do together. I do not have a tendency to get together with friends and discuss many of the deep philosophical issues of life. I'm willing to do that, but I can't honestly say that I've ever built a friendship on that. For me, all of my friendships have been built on having something to do that the other person also likes to do, and we go do it together. A friend for me does not need to be someone to whom I can pour out the depths of my soul. Now, in all fairness, I have my wife for that purpose. So I could imagine an ISFP who does not have that available to them in a spouse, needing that in a friend. I have had friends that I have been able to have relatively deep conversations with and meaningful conversations with from time to time. But that is not the heart and soul or the basis of which a friendship is built for me. I don't want that to be, nor do I need that to be. For me, the most important thing is there something we have in common that we both love to do and talk about? Like I said, hockey or whatever it may be, right? Like I can talk about racing with my uncle or cars with my uncle, and I consider him to be a really good friend, and we have that in common that we can discuss that. He's much more knowledgeable than I am, but I'm learning. Um, I've had friends that had other things in common, like, well, I think I said a minute ago, we like the same music, right? Well, that gives us the opportunity to share a musical experience together, maybe go to a concert together, something of that nature. If maybe you're into fishing, so you have a friend that you can go fishing with. Now, what I've found is in the course of having a friendship with someone that I have an activity in common with, like going fishing or going to a hockey game or working on a car together, the more significant, meaningful conversations come along the way. But that isn't what I'm looking for in a friendship. Another really, I think, important aspect of being a friend and being an ISFP or having being a friend to an ISFP is that I do not need to have frequent interactions. I don't mind them, but I don't need them. So I have one friend that is a big hockey fan, and I'm a big hockey fan, and he and I text back and forth almost every time our favorite hockey team is playing, and oftentimes when other teams are playing too that we have an interest in. So we're texting back and forth a lot, talking about hockey, and that is really enjoyable to me. I like that a lot. I text back and I've been texting back and forth a lot lately with my uncle because I've been watching this automobile racing documentary that he told me about. And so now he and I are talking a lot about automobile racing. And that is also something that I'm enjoying very, very greatly. These are not deep conversations. These are not me pouring out, the woes of my life, the cares, the troubles. This is not necessarily me looking for life advice on how to solve all of my problems or any of my problems for that matter. It's just a matter of I have a connection with this other person around this common interest, a hobby, whatever it may be that we both like, and so we can talk back and forth. But the reality is, I can go a very long time without having an interaction with a friend and be just fine. I will not be upset with a friend if I do not hear from him for a week or a month or 6 months. That does not put a damper on my relationship with a friend at all. And I do not want to feel compelled to have interactions on a frequent basis. Like I don't want there to be some deadline that says, or some time frame that says, well, you haven't had an interaction with this friend in X amount of time, and therefore you are contractually obligated to send a text or make a phone call or go to an event together. To me, I find that to be forced and false and unrealistic, and it's unnecessary. I don't like it. I don't want to be made to feel that way, and I will not make a friend feel that way. To me, it will just be organic and natural. It will just happen normally. That something happens perhaps in culture that is an interest to me and an interest to a friend, and we connect after maybe having not spoken to one another for a few weeks or a month or so. And almost never in my life have I ever been in a situation where I have not communicated with one of my friends for X amount of time and thought to myself, oh my gosh, I need to talk to this person for no other reason than that it's been too long since I've talked to this person. It just isn't on my radar, and I don't think about it. And honestly, if a friend makes me feel like I'm guilty, like I'm some sort of bad person because I go too long without interacting with them, I probably won't stay friends with that person for very long, because that's not a requirement within a friendship that I want put on me. And so if you are a friend to an ISFP and that ISFP does not communicate with you for a day, a week, a month, if you take that personally, that's a choice that you can make. I would consider it to be the wrong choice, because that ISFP is, I can just about guarantee you, not in any way, shape, or form trying to slight you. They're not trying to, be mean to you. Now, there are those times when people do things to me or they behave in ways that I can't stand. I'll give you an example. I had a friend when I was much younger, and he was a kleptomaniac. We could not go anywhere without him trying to steal something. And I had to discontinue association with him because I was concerned that I would be with him when he stole something and I would get in trouble. And so in that case, there actually was a reason why I discontinued association with this person. So that could be true too. That there is a place, I suppose, where for asking your ISFP friend, have I done something to upset you? But be careful with that, because I understand this is a very difficult spot, but I'm just explaining my mind. I'm not telling you that I'm right, and I'm not telling you that if you think differently, that you're wrong. I'm just trying to let you know how my brain works, for better or for worse. If you're my friend and I haven't talked to you for 4 weeks, and you message me and you're like, did I do something wrong? Why are you not talking to me? If you didn't do anything wrong, there's a good chance I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, like that's too sensitive or touchy, or like, why are you asking me that question? I'm going to be put off by that question unless you actually did something wrong. And then I might not be put off by the question. I might consider it an opportunity to open up a dialogue. So I get how that probably sounds. I'm making it very difficult for a friend, but it can really be as easy as this. Let's say I haven't communicated with you in 4 weeks, right? And I'm your friend and I'm an ISFP. And you just text me and you're like, hey man, what's up? How are things going? If I text you back, oh, it's great or it's bad or whatever, And then you're like, hey, do you want to hang out? Yeah, sure. What do you want to do? If I reciprocate your communication, if I reciprocate your invitation to get together, then I'm probably not mad at you. I'm probably not upset with you. I'm probably not trying to avoid you in any way, shape, or form. I just don't mind going long periods of time without interacting with friends. Now, I will say that for me, being a friend necessarily involves having something to do. So it would be like I can't imagine really like just getting together with a friend and just like existing, or just getting together with a friend for no other reason than to talk, unless there's like a real specific issue. Like, if a friend calls me up and says, my wife just left me. Can we get together and talk? Well, sure, absolutely. I'd be happy to get together and talk. Or I'm having trouble with one of my kids and I want to get your advice. Absolutely. I would be happy to get together and talk. But for the most part, if I'm going to be getting together with a friend, it's going to be, let's go have coffee. Okay, cool. Because that's an event, right? We're going and we're doing something. We're having coffee together. Let's watch hockey. Come over to my house. We'll watch the hockey game. You want to come over? Let's play some video games. You want to go to the hockey game with me? Do you want to go, to the races with me? Whatever. Do you want to go to a concert? Whatever it may be, I'm going to need something like that. I'm not likely to just want to come over and just like sit in your house and just be there. Now, I will say when I was younger and a teenager, I did do a little bit more of that where I would go to a friend's house and just hang out. But even then, there had to be something to do. We were playing video games usually, or watching a hockey game or something. I didn't just want to be there and like talk. Not that I'm completely opposed to talking, not that I'm completely opposed to having a conversation with a friend and, discussing whatever the matters of life and, these types of things. But as a friend, that's not where my priority is. And so if you're looking for that in an ISFP friend, you might miss out on it a little bit because that's probably not what a lot of ISFPs are the best at. They're more, I think, well, let me just speak for myself because maybe I'm different. If you're an ISFP, let me know what you think, if you agree with me or not. But for me, I'm more, let's go do a thing together. And then if along the way we are conversing and you want to confide in me something that's going on in your life or get my advice, or I want to confide in you something that's going on in my life or get your advice, then that's great. I have friends and have had friends in my life that I did that with for sure, 100%, but it wasn't the central point of the relationship. That being said, like I said before, I have a wife that fulfills that role for me, and so I don't need that in a friend as much. So, this is a little bit on a swing state here, depending on the life situation of the individual ISFP in question. Overall, though, I think I'm a good friend in the sense that I'll have fun with you. We'll do cool things. We'll talk about the things we love. I'll go places with you. We'll hang out. We'll focus a lot on the things that both of us have in common. If you want a psychologist, so to speak, I'll be there for you. If you want to cry on my shoulder, I'm happy to let you. I probably won't take your problems home with me too much. So if you're looking for somebody to sort of gnash their teeth and wring their hands about your problems as much as you are gnashing your teeth and wringing your hands about your problems, I'm probably not your guy, to be honest with you. Maybe some ISFPs are more so than I am. But if you just want to have somebody that you can hang out with and have fun and go do something enjoyable with, who I think, generally speaking, will be relatively kind to you, very nice to you, very understanding to the greatest degree possible, I will let you know, hey man, I love you. I will let you know you matter to me. But I might do it in ways that are a little bit different than other people would do. So I don't know if this answers the question that the commenter was asking on a previous video, but I just wanted to kind of throw out some thoughts that I have on what it looks like to be my friend. And there are probably some people who would be my friend and be like, yeah, that's great. This person provides everything I'm looking for in a friend. And other people would probably be like, man, he is a terrible friend. He doesn't call, he doesn't text. I hear from him out of the blue all of a sudden after not hearing from him for who knows how long. I don't feel like he's someone that I can pour out all of my woes to. Um, maybe some of my friends might consider my friendship with them to be a little on the shallow side. I'm not sure. But to me, friendship is more about having fun and doing things together than it is about pouring out your soul, although there is a place for that along the way. Thank you so much for watching. Do please click like and subscribe if you have not already, and have yourself an awesome day. Bye now.